Today's video is something truly special. We're going to unlock the creativity that's already inside you. What if I told you that creativity is not something you are born with? What if I told you that creativity is not only for artists, writers, or talented people? And what if I told you that the most creative person you will ever meet is already inside you, waiting, silent, ignored, and forgotten? Most people believe creativity is a gift given to a few lucky people. They think some people are creative and some are not. They believe creativity belongs only to painters, musicians, writers, and inventors. But this belief is one of the biggest lies ever told. Creativity is not a talent. Creativity is not magic. Creativity is not rare. Creativity is a natural human ability. You were born with it. You used it every day as a child. And then, slowly, the world taught you to forget it. This video is not about becoming an artist. This video is not about painting, writing, or music. This video is about something deeper. This video is about how to access your creativity, how to reconnect with the part of you that thinks freely, imagines boldly, and sees possibilities where others see limits. If you stay until the end, you will not only understand creativity, you will feel it waking up inside you. By the time this video is over, you will see that creativity is not something you need to chase. It's already inside you, and today, we're going to learn how to listen to it, follow it, and grow it. Part 1. The day you lost your creativity. When you were a child, creativity was your natural state. You did not try to be creative, and you did not even know what the word creativity meant. You simply lived inside it. Your mind was open, free, and curious. You imagined stories without effort. You asked strange questions without fear. You saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. A simple stick could become a powerful sword. A small box could become a house, a car, or a secret place. Even silence felt exciting, because your imagination filled it with meaning. You did not worry about being right or wrong. You did not worry about being judged. You created because creating felt natural. In those early days, there were no limits inside your mind. You explored ideas freely. You tried things just to see what would happen. If something failed, you laughed and tried again. Mistakes were not failures. They were part of play. Curiosity guided you. Wonder moved you forward. Creativity was not something special you did. It was the way you experienced life itself. But then, slowly and quietly, something changed. You went to school. You entered a system built on rules, structure, and control. You were told to sit still, even when your body wanted to move. You were told to be quiet, even when your mind was full of questions. You were told to follow instructions instead of imagination. You were taught that there was one correct answer, and that every other answer was wrong. Over time, you learned that thinking differently could bring punishment or laughter. Being different stopped feeling safe. Little by little, creativity became dangerous. Mistakes became embarrassing. Wrong answers became shameful. Curiosity became a problem that needed to be controlled. Instead of asking, "What if?" you learned to ask, "What is correct?" Instead of exploring ideas, you learned to memorize them. Instead of trusting your inner voice, you learned to wait for permission. The world did not kill your creativity in one day. It did not attack it loudly. It did not destroy it suddenly. It killed it slowly and quietly, with judgment, with fear, with comparison, and with constant pressure to fit in. You were compared to others. You were measured, tested, and ranked. And without noticing, You began to doubt yourself. You stopped trusting your ideas. You stopped expressing your thoughts freely. You stopped creating and started copying what felt safe and acceptable. One day, you woke up and believed a lie. I am not creative. But here is the truth most people never hear. Creativity never leaves you. It does not disappear. It does not die. It only goes quiet. It hides behind fear. It waits behind silence. It stays inside you, patient and alive, waiting for the moment when you are brave enough to listen again. Part 2. Creativity is not loud. It is soft. Many people say, I am not creative. But what they really mean is, I cannot hear my creativity anymore. Creativity has not disappeared from their lives. It has simply become quiet. Creativity does not shout for attention. It does not push or demand. It whispers. It speaks through small ideas, strange thoughts, gentle emotions, and soft feelings that appear when you are calm. If you are always rushing, always busy, and always distracted, you will never hear it. Modern life is loud in ways we do not even notice. Notifications interrupt your thoughts. Social media fills your mind with opinions, comparisons, and noise. News, messages, videos, and expectations compete for your attention every second. Even when you are alone, your mind is rarely quiet. Creativity cannot survive in constant noise. It needs silence the way a seed needs soil. Without silence, creativity stays hidden. This is why many of the most creative people in history loved quiet moments. They walked alone. They spent time in nature. They allowed boredom instead of escaping it. They were not afraid of empty time. In those silent spaces, their minds were free to wander. Ideas connected naturally. Thoughts slowed down. Imagination began to move again. When there is no pressure to produce, creativity feels safe enough to come forward. Silence does not mean doing nothing. Silence means giving your mind room to breathe. It means allowing your thoughts to flow without judging them. In stillness, your brain starts to notice patterns. It remembers forgotten ideas. It mixes old memories with new feelings. This is where creativity lives. Not in stress, not in speed, but in calm attention. If your life is always busy, always rushed, and always filled with distractions, creativity has no place to exist. It is not gone. It is crowded out. Just like a quiet voice cannot be heard in a noisy room, your creative voice cannot be heard in a noisy life. Many people believe they need more inspiration, more motivation, or more talent. But what they truly need is less noise. To access your creativity, the first step is simple, but not easy. You must create space. Space in your schedule. Space in your mind. Space away from screens and constant information. Even a few minutes of quiet each day can change everything. Sit without music. Walk without your phone. Let your mind wander without direction. At first, silence may feel uncomfortable. Your mind may feel restless. That is normal. Do not escape it. Stay with it. Slowly, beneath the noise, you will begin to hear something familiar. A small idea. A soft thought. A gentle feeling. That is your creativity. Still alive, still waiting, finally being heard again. Part 3. Stop waiting for motivation. Many people believe creativity comes after motivation. They think they must feel inspired first. They wait for the perfect mood, the right time, the right energy, or the right level of confidence. They tell themselves, I will start when I feel ready. But days pass, weeks pass, sometimes years pass, and nothing begins. This is because creativity does not work the way most people believe it does. Creativity does not appear before action. Creativity appears because of action. Motivation is not the starting point. Movement is. When you wait for inspiration, you place creativity outside yourself, as if it must come from somewhere else. In reality, creativity wakes up only when you begin. It responds to effort, not to waiting. When you start, even badly, your mind begins to open. The first step does not need to be good. It only needs to exist. When you write one imperfect sentence, your brain searches for the next one. When you speak one small idea, another idea follows. When you try something new without confidence, your mind starts adjusting, learning, and improving. Creativity grows through engagement, not comfort. Many people fear starting because they want to avoid failure. They want their first attempt to be perfect. But perfection is a trap. Perfection freezes action. It creates pressure. It turns creativity into fear. The truth is simple. Creativity cannot grow in stillness. It needs movement. It needs mistakes. It needs experiments. Waiting kills creativity because waiting trains your mind to stay inactive. The longer you wait, the harder it feels to begin. Starting, even in a small way, breaks this cycle. It sends a signal to your mind. We are moving now. And once you move, creativity follows naturally. You do not need to feel ready. Readiness is not a requirement. You need to begin. Write one sentence, even if it sounds weak. Speak one idea, even if your voice shakes. Solve one small problem, even if you are unsure. Small actions create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence invites creativity. Think of creativity like a muscle. If you do not use it, it feels weak. But the moment you start using it, even gently, it becomes stronger. Each small action builds trust between you and your mind. Over time, starting becomes easier. Ideas come faster. Fear becomes quieter. Remember this simple truth, because it can change your life. Action creates clarity. When you act, you learn. When you learn, you understand. When you understand, creativity appears. You do not find creativity by thinking about it. You find it by doing. And the moment you stop waiting and start moving, creativity stops hiding and starts flowing again. Part 4. Fear is the gatekeeper of creativity. Every creative idea must pass through fear first. Fear appears before the idea becomes real. It shows up as fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being laughed at, and fear of being wrong. This fear feels uncomfortable, and for many people, it feels like a warning sign telling them to stop. But fear is not your enemy. Fear is the gatekeeper standing at the door of your creative power. Most people turn back the moment they feel fear. They believe fear means danger. They believe fear means they are not ready. So they stop. They stay safe. They choose silence instead of expression. But creative people do something different. They feel the same fear, but they move forward anyway. They understand that fear does not mean something is wrong. Fear means something important is trying to happen. Fear appears when you are about to do something meaningful. It shows up when you are close to growth, truth, and originality. If what you were doing did not matter, fear would not be there. Fear is proof that you are stepping outside comfort and entering a new space. It is a sign that your creativity is alive and pushing forward. Many people wait for fear to disappear before they act. They tell themselves they will begin when they feel confident, calm, and fearless. But fear does not disappear on its own. If you wait for fear to leave, you will wait forever. Fear only becomes smaller when you move through it. The goal is not to remove fear, but to learn how to walk with it. Creativity does not require courage without fear. That kind of courage does not exist. Creativity requires courage because of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. Each time you take a small step forward, fear loses some of its power. Each time you express an idea, even imperfectly, fear learns that it cannot control you. One of the biggest blocks to creativity is the need to protect your image. You want to look smart. You want to look talented. You want to avoid mistakes. But creativity cannot grow under protection. It needs freedom. The moment you stop trying to protect how you look, creativity begins to breathe. The moment you allow yourself to be imperfect, creativity becomes playful again. Think about a child learning to draw. The child does not worry about being good. The child does not compare. The child enjoys the process. That is why creativity flows so easily. When you give yourself permission to fail, to try, and to explore without judgment, creativity returns. Fear will still be there, but it will no longer stop you. Fear will always stand at the gate, but it does not decide who enters. You do. Part 5. Reconnect with beginner's mind. Creativity dies the moment you believe you already know everything. When your mind becomes full of conclusions, there is no space left for discovery. But creativity lives when you become a beginner again. A beginner's mind is open, curious, and free. It does not carry heavy expectations. It does not fear looking foolish. It simply wants to learn, explore, and experience. A beginner is curious about how things work. A beginner asks simple questions without shame. A beginner experiments without needing perfect results. A beginner is not afraid of mistakes, because mistakes are not failures. They are lessons. This mindset creates movement, and movement keeps creativity alive. When you allow yourself to be a beginner, ideas flow more easily because there is no pressure to be perfect. Many people lose creativity because they feel they must be good at everything they do. They believe that if they cannot do something well, they should not do it at all. This belief slowly kills creativity. When you demand high results from the beginning, you create fear. Fear blocks curiosity, and without curiosity, creativity disappears. But when you allow yourself to be new, creativity returns. Being new means you give yourself permission to learn slowly. You accept that confusion is part of growth. You understand that skill comes after practice, not before it. In this space, creativity feels safe. It does not need to impress anyone. It only needs to explore. Approach life like a learner, not an expert. Try new skills even if you feel awkward. Read books outside your comfort zone. Listen to ideas that challenge you. Ask why and how again, like you did when you were a child. Curiosity opens doors that knowledge alone cannot. The more questions you ask, the more creative connections your mind begins to make. Let yourself be awkward in the beginning. Let yourself fail without shame. Every mistake teaches your brain something new. Every failure brings you closer to understanding. Creativity loves beginners because beginners are free. They are not trapped by expectations, habits, or fear of judgment. As people grow older, they often become too serious. They focus only on results, efficiency, and control. They forget how to play. But play is the heart of creativity. Play allows imagination to move freely. Play removes pressure and brings joy back into the process. The more serious you become, the less creative you feel. Seriousness creates tension. Tension closes the mind. But the more playful you become, the more creative you grow. Playfulness opens the mind. It invites curiosity, laughter, and discovery. When you reconnect with beginner's mind, creativity stops feeling difficult and starts feeling natural again. Part 6. Creativity lives in your daily life. Many people believe creativity appears only in special moments when they sit down to write, paint, or make something new. They think creativity is an activity that happens at a certain time and place. But creativity is much bigger than that. Creativity is not only something you do. Creativity is a way of seeing the world. It is how you think, how you solve problems, how you speak, and how you respond to life when things do not go as planned. Creativity shows itself in simple, everyday actions. When you cook differently instead of following the same recipe, that is creativity. When you explain an idea in your own words instead of copying someone else, that is creativity. When you find a new way to learn, study, or practice a skill, that is creativity. Even when you take pain, difficulty, or failure and turn it into understanding or meaning, that is creativity. Creativity is present in your daily choices, even when you do not notice it. Many people separate creativity from their lives without realizing it. They say, "I am not creative," because they do not paint or write. But creativity does not belong to one group of people or one type of work. It belongs to everyone. Every person uses creativity when they adapt, improve, and move forward. Life itself requires creativity. Every day you make decisions. You choose how to react to problems. You choose how to speak to others. You choose how to spend your time and energy. Each of these choices is an opportunity to be creative. A challenge is not just a problem to survive. It is a creative puzzle waiting for a solution. When you face life with this mindset, creativity becomes part of who you are, not something you chase. When you begin to see creativity everywhere, something changes inside you. You stop waiting for inspiration. You stop believing creativity is rare or special. You start noticing it in small moments. You feel more confident because you realize you have been creative all along. This awareness brings freedom. It removes pressure. Creativity no longer feels like a heavy responsibility. It becomes a natural part of living. Life will not always be easy. You will face confusion, pain, and uncertainty. But creativity helps you respond instead of react. It helps you find meaning in difficulty. It helps you turn problems into lessons and setbacks into growth. This is one of the highest forms of creativity. Not creating objects, but creating understanding. When you stop separating creativity from your life, you stop chasing it. You stop searching for the right moment. You realize creativity is already with you in every choice and every challenge. And when you live this way, creativity does not feel forced. It feels natural, alive, and deeply human. Part 7. Your pain is creative fuel. Some of the deepest and most powerful creativity comes from pain. It comes from confusion, loneliness, failure, and inner struggle. These feelings are uncomfortable, so most people try to escape them. They distract themselves. They stay busy. They pretend everything is fine. But when pain is ignored, it does not disappear. It stays inside, waiting to be understood. Pain carries messages. Pain asks questions about your life. Pain demands expression because it wants to be seen and heard. Pain wants meaning. It wants to teach you something important about yourself. When you listen instead of running away, pain becomes a guide instead of a burden. When you allow yourself to feel deeply, creativity naturally appears. Strong emotions create strong thoughts. When you sit with your feelings, your mind begins to search for understanding. Writing becomes a way to release what you cannot say out loud. Thinking becomes a way to connect memories and lessons. Speaking becomes a way to share truth. Imagining becomes a way to see new possibilities beyond the pain. Creativity helps you make sense of what you feel. Creativity is not about being happy all the time. Life is not always bright and easy. Real creativity comes from honesty, not positivity. When you pretend everything is fine, your inner world becomes shallow. But when you face your emotions honestly, your inner world becomes rich. And creativity flows from richness. Many great ideas, stories, and solutions are born during difficult times. Pain pushes you to reflect. It slows you down. It forces you to ask deeper questions. In this quiet space, creativity wakes up, not to entertain, but to heal and transform. Creativity turns suffering into insight. It turns wounds into wisdom. This does not mean you must suffer to be creative. It means when suffering comes, and it will, you do not waste it. You allow it to shape you. You use it to understand yourself more clearly. Pain becomes fuel instead of poison. When you stop hiding from your emotions, something changes. You feel more real, more connected to yourself, more alive. Creativity grows naturally in this honesty. You begin to express what truly matters. You create not to impress others, but to understand yourself. Your pain does not make you weak. It makes you human. And when you listen to it, when you learn from it, it becomes one of your greatest creative strengths. Creativity does not run from darkness. It uses darkness to create light. Part 8. Protect your inner world. Not everyone deserves access to your ideas. Creativity is fragile. It is sensitive to judgment, criticism, and misunderstanding. Some people do not understand creativity. Some people fear it. They feel threatened by new ideas, by imagination, and by originality. Some people mock creativity. They laugh at what they do not understand. Others try to control it. They tell you what is right or wrong. They impose their limits. And when you expose your ideas too early to the wrong people, something happens. Creativity shrinks. It loses confidence. It stops taking risks. It hides. That is why protecting your inner world is so important. Your ideas are yours first. They belong to your mind, your heart, and your imagination. You must give them space to grow before you share them. This does not mean you must be secretive forever. It means you must respect the process of creation. You must allow your thoughts to mature. You must nurture them quietly, without rushing them into the opinions of others. Build quietly. Create privately. Take time to experiment. Test your ideas in small ways. Write them down. Draw them. Speak them softly to yourself. Let your creativity breathe without outside interference. Silence in this stage is not weakness. Silence is incubation. Just as a seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil, your ideas need time to develop before they are exposed to the world. Patience and privacy allow your creativity to strengthen. Many people make the mistake of seeking approval too early. They show their ideas before they are ready. They ask for opinions too soon. They listen to criticism without filtering it. And as a result, their ideas lose energy, direction, and originality. Protecting your inner world does not mean you ignore feedback forever. It means you wait until your ideas are strong enough to survive the noise. It means you trust your process and honor your creative journey. Creativity thrives in a protected space. It grows when it is safe. when it is respected, and when it has room to take shape. The more you protect your inner world, the more confident and bold your creativity becomes. You will notice that your ideas flow more freely when they are nurtured in private. They become sharper, clearer, and more resilient. When the right time comes, you can share them with others, and they will have power and impact. Remember, the world is loud. People will often criticize, doubt, or misunderstand what you create. That is normal. But your inner world is sacred. Guard it. Nourish it. Build it carefully. Give your creativity the chance to grow strong, and it will reward you with ideas that are original, meaningful, and powerful. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Silence is the soil in which the greatest ideas take root. Part 9. Consistency is the key to creative confidence. Creativity is like a muscle. It grows stronger not when it is forced, but when it is trained regularly. Many people believe that creativity requires long hours, perfect conditions, or sudden bursts of inspiration. They wait for the right time or the perfect moment to create. But this is a trap. Creativity does not respond to pressure or perfection. Creativity responds to consistency. Small daily actions build trust between your mind and your creative self. When your mind knows that you will show up, even for a few minutes each day, it begins to open more easily. Ideas flow more naturally. Confidence in your abilities grows. Creativity feels safe enough to appear. You do not need long hours or special conditions. Creativity does not demand grand gestures. It does not require elaborate tools or perfect environments. What it requires is rhythm, presence, and repetition. Even 5 minutes a day of writing, thinking, drawing, or imagining is enough to make a difference. The mind respects commitment, not intensity. It values the act of showing up more than the length or grandeur of what you produce. Small, steady steps create momentum. Momentum becomes habit. Habit builds creative confidence. Consistency allows your brain to trust itself. The mind learns patterns. It learns that you are serious about your creative life. When you act consistently, your subconscious mind begins to generate ideas even when you are not consciously trying. You start noticing solutions, connections, and inspirations in moments that used to feel ordinary. Regular practice transforms creativity from a rare spark into a constant flame. It becomes part of who you are, not something you chase or hope for. Many people give up because they wait for big results too soon. They create once, twice, or occasionally, and when the results are not perfect, they stop. But creativity is not a race. It is not measured by immediate success. It grows over time, like a tree that requires water, sunlight, and patience. Repetition strengthens roots, strengthens branches, and eventually bears fruit. Daily consistency teaches your mind patience and resilience. It helps you understand that even small actions accumulate into something extraordinary. Rhythm matters more than intensity. 5 focused minutes today is better than 1 forced hour tomorrow. 10 small actions repeated every day build far more than 1 great idea done once. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust that regular attention to creativity will create a stable, confident, and vibrant inner life. Over time, the small actions add up. Confidence grows, fear diminishes, ideas multiply, and your mind begins to see creativity as natural, alive, and reliable. Remember this: creativity respects commitment, not intensity. Show up every day. Honor the small actions. Protect your time. Create rhythm in your life. When you do, your mind will respond. Your ideas will flourish. Your confidence will grow. And your creative life will become something you no longer need to chase. It will become part of who you are. Part 10. Creativity is who you are. You are not trying to become creative. You are not trying to find something outside yourself. Creativity is not a skill you need to earn or a talent you need to buy. Creativity is already inside you. It has been there since you were a child, before the world told you to stop imagining, before fear whispered that you were not enough. Creativity is not something you gain. Creativity is something you remember. You are not learning it. You are reconnecting with it. Creativity is your natural state. It exists when fear is quiet and curiosity is alive. It exists when judgment is soft and self-expression is free. It is the way your mind explores, questions, and experiments without holding back. The world may have taught you to doubt it. It may have told you that your ideas are wrong, silly, or unimportant. But the world did not and cannot take it away. Creativity has never left you. It has only waited, patient and quiet, until you are ready to listen again. The moment you choose expression over perfection, curiosity over fear, and action over waiting, you access your creativity again. That first step may feel small, but it is powerful. Writing a line, speaking a thought, drawing a simple shape, or even thinking differently. These actions are doors. Every time you choose to act despite fear, to explore despite doubt, or to create despite imperfection, you reconnect with the part of yourself that has always known how to imagine, to wonder, and to build. And once you access your creativity, life begins to change. You begin to see possibilities instead of limits. Challenges no longer feel like walls. They become puzzles waiting for solutions. Opportunities appear where before you only saw obstacles. You feel alive instead of stuck. Every day contains moments of discovery. You start noticing ideas and inspiration in places that used to feel ordinary. You stop merely consuming the world and begin creating within it. You write, you draw, you speak, you invent, you experiment, and each act reminds you that you are alive, capable, and original. Creativity is not something you add to your life as if it were an object or a skill. Creativity is the life you were meant to live. It is the natural expression of your mind, heart, and spirit. It shapes the way you see the world, solve problems, connect with others, and understand yourself. Every choice you make, every challenge you face, every thought you explore is an opportunity to live creatively. It is not about making perfect things or achieving approval. It is about expressing who you truly are, fully and honestly. So remember this truth. You are creative because you have always been creative. You are not trying to force it into existence. You are simply allowing it to breathe. You are giving yourself permission to think, to play, to experiment, and to act. When you live this way, creativity stops feeling like a task or a goal. It becomes the life you experience every day. It becomes the rhythm of your mind, the expression of your spirit, and the path to a life that is truly alive. Creativity is not something you do. Creativity is who you are. Ending message. Speak this with calm confidence. Remember this. Your creativity is not lost. It has never been lost. It is not hidden, broken, or gone forever. It is waiting patiently for your permission to return. It waits quietly, ready to speak the moment you give it space. The world may have tried to silence it. Life may have made you doubt it. But your creativity has been there all along, quietly alive, waiting for you to listen again. To access it, you must be quiet enough to hear it. Slow down. Step away from distractions. Turn off the noise that fills your mind. Listen to your thoughts, your feelings, and the small ideas that come when you are calm. In these moments, creativity whispers to you, and it is only when you are still that you can truly hear what it has to say. Be brave enough to follow it. Acting on your creative impulses may feel uncomfortable. It may feel risky, but every time you take a small step, every time you try something new, every time you allow yourself to be imperfect, your creativity grows stronger. On this journey, remember the lessons from English Achieve. Creativity is not about perfection. It is about honesty. It is about expression. It is about allowing yourself to be fully alive in every moment. And be patient enough to grow it. Creativity does not appear instantly. It does not rush. It grows when you nurture it, protect it, and give it time. Trust the process. Show up consistently. Experiment, explore, and allow yourself to make mistakes. The more patient you are, the more your creative power flourishes naturally. This is not about becoming special. This is about becoming yourself again. Your creativity is a reflection of who you truly are. Your mind, your imagination, your curiosity, and your courage. Speak this truth with calm confidence, and remember, your creativity has always been waiting for you.